Hey guys, welcome back to Rossoneri TV. Today we're going to be discussing Milan-Sassuolo, match day number 38. The last match of the season was finally here, and what a game. So much to talk about for this one. And joining me in discussing about this match is the one and only, always faithful, Adamo. Thanks for joining me, Adamo. How are you today, sir?
I am fantastic.
Lots to talk about, so let's get right into it. First of all, first things first, Milan won the match 2-1 against Sassuolo. Goals coming from Muntari and De Jong. However, it wasn't enough, not enough, guys, for Milan to earn the qualification spot to the Europa League. And that is exactly what we're going to be talking about today. Milan, before this match, the scenario was very simple. Milan had to win and hope for Parma and Torino to not win their respective games, and unfortunately Parma won their game. Lots of controversy going into those last minutes, especially in the other games that were so important for this qualification spot, but we'll get into it a bit later on into the show. So let's get back to our game, Milan-Sassuolo. Milan, really amazing first half performance. Right off the back, Muntari 2 minutes in with a wonder strike, really from about 30 yards, pulsing in, beautiful shot by Muntari to give Milan the early lead, and that is exactly what we needed. De Jong also added to that lead about 20 minutes later, and really things were looking pretty good for Milan because at that point, what needed to happen was they needed to score one more goal in order to actually tie with Torino in the standings, which would put us ahead. The situation was a bit tricky to understand, but if you really pay attention to the details, it'll come to you eventually. So things were going pretty good in the first half, 2-0. That's what halftime was. Not too many problems in the back, in the defense, keeping it sharp. In the front, as I said, 2 goals coming from players that are not even strikers, so that is something extra. It's like our defensive mids pretty much scored the goals, which was something quite astonishing to see. And some things to talk about, Adamo. Balotelli and Nesharawi, they're not starting in this game. What were your initial feelings about it, especially when you saw both players starting on the bench in such a crucial match for Milan? Probably the most crucial in the season.
Well, I don't know. I was more so shocked about El Shaarawy because I just thought that he came back from injury. He played a couple games with the Primavera. He got subbed in, whatever, and I thought that Seedorf would play him just for the purposes of playing him. Plus, he's also an attacking threat. But with Balotelli, I was still pretty shocked as well because you think that since he needed quite a lot of goals, that he'd be playing his like top team, but really is more of like Milan's second team. And I don't know, it was pretty odd, but he subbed them both in, which was, I guess he needed to do that because we needed goals. But
Exactly.
the only thing there with me was I don't get why he didn't just start them if you were gonna sub them in anyways, because then you're just wasting subs, and then we could have players like Hakim Astor that was sitting on the bench that could have broke Maldini's record of being the youngest teenager to play for Milan in history, but he couldn't because all the subs were used up by El Shaarawy and Balotelli and somebody else I forget.
Zaccardo coming in, which
Yeah.
was pretty useless, but anyways, we'll get into that later. You brought up some good points there, Adamo, mentioning how Esharawi and Balotelli got subbed in near the end of the match. As you said, in order to try and equalize that goal differential that was still there was still a bit of a gap between Milan and Torino, and Milan definitely needed to decrease that goal gap in order to pass them in the standings. But in the end, that did not happen. You also mentioned Hakim Mastur, which 15 years old, guys, 15 years old, being called up for Milan on the bench. Today he watched it as a spectator on the bench, which is quite a treat, I must say, for a 15-year-old. And as you said, he didn't make his debut with Milan, the first team, of course, yet. But expect this guy to even probably be playing in preseason fixtures with Milan. No doubt he's going to get called up. And who knows, maybe next season he's actually going to be in the I'm not gonna say in the starting 11, but in the actual Rosa, the team roster. So going to the second half, this is where all the action pretty much happened, Adamo. As you could agree with me, lots of topics to mention in this one, and we're gonna start right away with the referee because he deserves a bit of bashing in this one. Really incredible calls from Mr. Valeri, which I still don't understand what he was doing today. People were actually calling him drunk on Twitter, and you know what? I don't think they were far off that comment. I think that description pretty much was the right thing to call him because today, guys, wow, what did we see? Adamo, first of all, the first red card was Maxess, and people could call it a 50-50. Okay, maybe he deserved a red card straight in that first half, maybe not. But let's just say that Max's red card was doubtful. We saw some points where it could have been a red card, some others that people thought it wasn't. But the major controversial point, guys, was definitely De Chio's red card, which led to a penalty for Sassuolo, right? And just how important was that for Milan if they maybe could have scored another goal in those last minutes instead of conceding one? What could have happened? Thankfully, Parma won their match, so we didn't really have to think about that problem. But Adamo, De Chio getting the red card. This guy really is probably the last player I'll think of getting the red card. What were your initial thoughts when you saw De Chio getting the red card, and especially looking at that replay where you could clearly see that he got the ball? What were your thoughts on that?
Well, it was pretty crazy. I was freaking out on Twitter. I'm sure a lot of people could see, but refereeing like this is what makes me hate Serie A. Like I love Serie A. I feel it's the best league in the world, obviously because I watch it, and I don't understand. And not only was the referee terrible, he was absolutely horrendous. The linesmen in the Serie A kill me. They make my brain hurt because I don't understand why they're there. It makes absolutely no sense. I can guarantee you that that linesman saw that the Shulio got 100% of that ball, and then when they put the camera on his face, he'll take a ghost.
But wait a second, Damo. Let's add something else. Okay, the referee. Okay, the linesman. But what about those goal line judges? What haven't they been doing all season? That is my question. These guys are literally getting paid for nothing, which pisses me off, man. These guys are literally on their line, standing there, watching birds fly, and something so clean like De Chio's tackle was not seen and given a red card by the referee just out of nowhere. That is just horrendous. And Serie A should literally look at this episode and think about hiring Valeri for next season, because to me, I will fire that guy. Really disgusting.
I don't understand. It makes absolutely no sense to me because there's like a billion officials on that pitch. Not one of them said anything. Because what I think happens is that they all see it. And yes, referees make mistakes, and he clearly made a mistake there. So, and you can't be making mistakes like that in such a crucial game. So I don't even think he should have his drawback after that, because that was just an absolute disgusting. Like, it made absolutely no sense. Like, I was watching it on a stream, and the commentators were freaking out saying that, like, this makes absolutely no sense, because I don't understand. He clearly got 100% of the ball, and then he gets a red card. And because, and what I think happens is, so like I was saying before, they all see it, but the referee doesn't. But they don't want to speak out against the referee. They're afraid, like, he's gonna say, "Oh, get out of here! I don't want you," or whatever. Like, I don't want you on this pitch. Like,
especially after the referee already took out the red card, that will just be like, oh, such an embarrassment to them to talk to the referee after that. And to finish off the De Chio matter, guys, apparently reports are saying that once he arrived in the locker room, he was bursting in tears, crying in the locker room. Really, it doesn't make sense. And people might just say, okay, it's just a red card, he'll get over it. But for a player so young like him, getting a controversial call like that, really also playing on Abbiati's part a bit, because he wanted the clean sheet. I'm sure that the team itself wanted to end on a good note without conceding any goals, something that literally in the first half of the season was a major problem with this team. Instead, The referee pretty much spoils the party in those last minutes. Just horrendous. Now we're gonna pass by and we're gonna talk about something else. We kind of finished our Deschilio rant. Uh, so Adamo, back on that Balotelli point where he got subbed in, Pazzini actually had lots of chances in that second half and even a bit in the first. Now, people are actually talking about Pazzini, actually preferring Pazzini over Balotelli just because of his workload. It seems like he's more engaged in the team. Seems like he wants to play and fights more for the ball, while sometimes Balotelli is kind of lazy. What do you make of this? And do you think Milan really should start Pazzini more often, maybe next season, if they decide for him to stay or not?
Well, I think it'd be actually a really good idea to play Pazzini more. Not start him over Balotelli, but like some games to actually play Pazzini because I feel that like Balotelli's young. People forget that Balotelli is not like he's not like 28 years old or whatever. He's like in his prime. He's still a young player, so he has lots of room to improve. And he needs to be disciplined. And I don't mean like in a bad way, but I mean if he's being started every single game, he's a guaranteed starter, and he's this young with the attitude that people know that he has. He's clearly not going to give a shit. In training, he's not going to give a shit because he knows he's going to start either way. So he's not going to be judged by training, so he doesn't care. And in the game, he's not going to give a shit because he knows he's going to play the next game. So I don't think he cares. So let's say you start Pazzini in a game instead of him, where you would assume that he would play. He's going to get upset and think, oh, I got to work more. Now I have to earn my spot. So he's going to actually have to earn his place in this team instead of it being given to him on a silver platter, which I think would be a good idea because, like I said, it's just for the better of Balotelli, and I think it could really improve him a lot.
Yeah, very well said. Balotelli, look, I love the guy and everything, but as you mentioned, maybe Milan should make him understand that he should earn his spot rather than already being served on a silver platter and really work for it. Because Pastini, really, the guy's workload, and he's also much older than Balotelli, and he's working more, trying to fight for that ball. I know Balotelli is more of a clinical guy, but Pastini is there too. The guy can put the ball back in the net anytime he wants. Anyways, that is a whole different matter to talk about and mention in the future. Now, El Shaarawy also, as you said before, he came on in the second half. Really, the guy, it seems like he didn't just come back from an injury. These two games that he played, it seems like he came in and he already was perfect. He was practicing all season. He was involved all season, and the deeks and moves and movements that he does in general, it's just astonishing once again. And really, how much do we miss him this season? And I just can't wait for next season to hopefully see him starting in that starting 11 once again. Now, Tarapt, once again, Damo. Beautiful performance by him. We saw even a nutmeg at one point. The commentator was absolutely going crazy. Tarapt played beautiful today once again, and he has since his arrival at Milan. What do you make of him, Damo? Do you think this player could be part of Milan's future?
I think it was actually a perfect signing by Seedorf, I'm pretty sure, who was made a decision or something like that. But because you have to think about it. We had El Shaarawy, and with El Shaarawy comes pace, flair, dribbling, and like clinical finesse shots. And once he got injured, it was pretty much out for the entire season. Like he barely played any games. We were missing that, and we knew that we had no pace in our attack. The only person that had pace was Balotelli. Even like Kaká, he's getting so whatever. So we needed to fill a gap, I guess you could say. And I think Tarap was the perfect signing. One, because he's young, so he can improve a lot. And yes, people may say, "Oh, he has a bad attitude, he doesn't have respect." But you can see now that he's with Seedorf, he plays with his heart. He actually cares about Milan now. Like he's playing to win. He's not just playing for himself. And I really like that about him because like I said before, he has exactly what El Shaarawy had, except not as much pace as El Shaarawy, of course. But he has the flair, the dribbling. He nutmegs literally so much that you don't even notice that he nutmegs.
Yeah.
Literally, when he nutmegs, not one person mentioned it on Twitter because we're used to it now. Because every game he makes an impact and it's crazy. So if you ask me, I think that was probably one of the best signings for Milan.
And they should definitely buy out his price tag, which I
Yeah.
think will be phenomenal, especially next season. Now, moving towards the actual end of the game, where Milan's actual priority was to get to the end of the game and find out what happens now. Because that was the main message. That is what Milan wanted to know from the beginning of the match. And they were fighting for that spot, the qualification spot, the sixth qualification spot over there against Parma and Torino. Now, some incredible moments happened in those two matches. First of all, Parma was playing against Livorno. They won their match 2-0. And Torino was playing against Fiorentina, which that game ended in a 2-2 tie. Now, some incredible moments actually happened at Torino match as Cerci was given a penalty shot, if I'm not mistaken, in the stoppage time. And with a goal there, Torino would have been in the Europa League. Instead, he missed the penalty shot. Just incredible to blow once a team's ambitions from the beginning of the season to blow it in just a kick. Just incredible to my mind, and that is just what calcio is. That is the beauty of the Serie A. And with that note, I just want to thank all of you guys for following Rossoneri TV. We've been working really hard day after day, posting match reviews after every game, posting daily news on our Facebook and Twitter pages, and we will continue to strive and work hard for our fans, of course, and much, much more, guys, coming in this off season and next season. So as usual, stay tuned to Rossoneri TV and subscribe for more content, as we will be posting a lot more. Now, guys, we actually have an announcement to make, because actually two announcements. The first one is that you can now find our channel on www.rossoneritv.com. So if you go on that link, it's going to bring you directly to the channel. And also next week, this week actually coming, we're going to be doing a season review, a full show where we'll be reviewing Milan's season as a whole, talking about different points, probably even the future of this team. So that is exactly something that you guys wouldn't want to miss. We'll be giving you a confirmation on the day on the Facebook and Twitter pages, so make sure to follow us on those social media networks. Adamo, I just want to thank you personally for joining me once again today and for the whole season. Been a pleasure to work with you, my sir. Thanks for joining, and hope you enjoy the season altogether. And we hope the next season Milan can return back to his position, because that is where it deserves, in the top positions of the Serie A. So, Damo, you have any words for our fans? Final words of the season? What do you have to say to the fans?
Just want to say thank you for all the support. Like Giovanni said, like really, if there was no fans, we'd be talking to nobody right now. And of course, it'd still be fun because we're just expressing our feelings about Milan at the end of the day. But yeah, I really like the support, and I like how a lot of the fans interact with us. And like you said on the Twitter at Rossoneri TV, be sure to follow us there because you guys it's very easy to contact us. We can reply, and like Twitter's a great source for that stuff, of course. But yeah, just thank you, I guess.
Very well said, Adamo. On that note, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter to find out about the match, the season review. My bad. And make sure to follow us on those social media networks to find out when it will be this week coming. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to Rossoneri TV. We'll see you during the week. As usual, guys.
Forza Milan!
Take care, guys, and good season to you all.